What? Dynatrace can do that with OpenTelemetry? No way. Hey, welcome everyone to Dynatrace Can Do That with OpenTelemetry. My name is Adriana Vilela, and I am so excited to have my coworker, Andi join me once again for our latest episode.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. I'm looking forward to the next episode because so far it was always a great thing to explore things in Dynatrace that while I've known it for a while, it's always great to see the reactions of people that are a little newer to the platform and then just showing you a couple of tips and tricks.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have to mention as a sidebar, before we started recording this, you were showing me some other stuff on dashboards for something else that we're working on. And I was like, what? And I was almost thinking like, damn it, we should have been recording this.
Well, it's good that we are creating new ideas for upcoming episodes.
Absolutely. Okay, so today, what are we digging into?
I think we said the magic thing, the magic area of SLOs, service level objectives.
Yes.
Yeah. And yeah, you might want to share your screen, then I can give you some ideas. And while you start sharing your screen, I think you still have your same setup going on, right?
I do, yeah, same setup. I've got the hotel demo app sending telemetry, hotel open telemetry from via hotel collector into Dynatrace, running it on Docker Compose. So,
cool. Do me a quick favor. Let's have a quick overview of your services. So do the open up the services app.
Using Command K.
Exactly. And then it seems you have 18 services running. Everything is green. So if you open up the details, just to validate, right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Our lovely, beautiful services.
Yeah, looks everything is good. So almost no failures, no response time, no hiccups. Dynatrace would by default give you alerts and warnings in case a failure rate increases unusually, response time, and so on. So Dynatrace does by default anomaly detection, right? But what Dynatrace does not know if you have certain objectives on, let's say, failure rate, throughput, performance. And this is where SLOs come in, service level objectives. And I would love to, well, walk you through creating an SLO.
All right, let's do it. I'm excited.
Where do you think we start?
Is there an SLO app?
Let's find out.
I'm going to Command K this. Service level. Oh my God. Yay. I guessed right. I actually had no idea.
Yeah, that's why I earlier we decided that I don't walk you through it before the recording because I wanted to see the reaction.
Reactions are genuine.
Perfect. Well, I guess let's kick it off and see what happens if we press the create a new service level objective.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. So what we have here is we have a couple of pre-configured templates. Now, I know in your case, you have a very specific environment where you're currently only sending OpenTelemetry traces, logs, and metrics from your service. So you don't do any infrastructure monitoring. You don't do any Kubernetes-specific monitoring. That means the first, the host CPU Kubernetes, that doesn't apply to you right now. But for folks that are watching this, if you are doing infrastructure monitoring, if you have the Dynatrace operator deployed on your Kubernetes cluster, we have some pre-configured templates for you. Right? But Adriana, you do have services. So if you scroll a little further down in that list.
Oh, can I click on services?
I'll give it a try. Here we go. It's even easier, right?
Yay.
So there's two, one on availability and one on performance. I would say let's try the availability one.
Okay. So create.
So the wizard basically says, hey, for service availability, you need to tell me for which service you want to specify an SLO on whether the service is available, yes or no.
Okay.
And that's where you can, in your case, you have, I think, what was it earlier, about 20 different services.
Yeah, something like that.
The first couple of ones show up here. You can also do a search. You can navigate and paginate through the different things. Yeah, perfect.
Mhm.
You can also use the search on the top, I guess,
Yeah, yeah.
if you have anything in mind.
I mean, I always go back to the recommendation service.
Yeah, then
There we
there you
go.
go.
Okay.
Perfect. And then, so now you basically you could select multiple ones. Yeah.
Mhm.
Now on the right side, you
Yeah.
have the
Well,
preview, and I guess we want to
add another one. Let's do front end as well,
Mhm.
just for kicks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you can, on the right side, if you
Yeah.
click on preview or refresh, the refresh button, I think you should see.
Ooh,
There we go.
what? Very cool.
Right. So the template behind the scenes basically looks into service availability. This is the success rate of requests to that service.
Mm-hmm.
And the default SLO here, the preview says 98% target, and you can see an overview right now of the last 7 days. I think you just started your demo app, correct?
Yeah, I started it. I don't know. It's been running for a couple hours, so
Yeah. If
yeah.
you hover the mouse over, I think in the chart, you can see the data. If you to the end, yeah, this is where you have the
Mhm.
data coming in. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
Oh yeah. Here it
yeah,
is. Little tiny line.
yeah. But this is what you would get, right? It just
Mhm.
gives you a preview on how would the
Yeah.
metric look like over time
Mhm.
with the default target and error budget and evaluation period of 7 days. I think you can also switch from graph to table.
Mhm.
Right. This is where you see it for
Yeah.
every service that is selected. Also makes a lot of
Right. Right.
sense, I guess, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect. So let's go through the wizard now and let's click
All right.
next.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So this is our. We can set our target.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know, like SLOs, usually you do it over like a rolling, like 28, 38 day kind of thing. But I don't know. What do you want to?
Change it. I mean, in your case, you don't have a whole lot of data, so but just for the sake of it, do 14 days, right? I mean, that's nice
14
to
days. All right.
a fortnight. Um,
That's
you
good.
you can also, if you want to change the target, if you want to be a little bit more
Let's do
accepting.
95.
Yeah.
Actually, let's do 90. Ooh.
Ooh.
What happens if we show a warning? Oh. Oh, okay. Oh. Oh. Show warning yet. I feel like I'd want to show a warning sooner rather than later, right?
Exactly. Yeah. You want to have it probably at 95. Cool. You can also then, every time you change something, you can refresh the preview.
Yeah,
And
let's look.
sometimes it might be easier to refresh also to look at the graph. Right? If you look at the graph,
Right.
here you go. Now this is also where you see the warning and the error. So the green,
Oh, I see. I see. I see.
right?
Yeah.
So the
Okay, so
first 5% is kind of like good, and then you got the warning, and then yeah.
okay. Oh, I understand. Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
And we're in happy time.
Exactly. Cool. Yeah, then I guess next, because there's not much more that we can configure here.
Okay.
Now, the most difficult thing is to give our SLOs and everything in life good names.
So true. So true. I guess we'll do hotel demo SLOs.
Yeah, or maybe call it availability, because this is really an
Yeah.
availability SLO. And later on, if you have time, we do another performance SLO. That's good, yeah.
All right.
Description is always good. I mean, it comes with a nice default description.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say for there we go.
Cool. And then we also have tags here. So you can put tags on SLOs. Now, why are tags important? Because if you are an organization and you have, multiple SLOs for different types of services, maybe you have even different categories of SLOs. I sometimes see people say we have our gold services, we have our bronze and silver services. Then you can also give tags or maybe ownership, something like this. So you could add a key and a value. And I would say, as an example, to follow my gold, silver, bronze, maybe as the key for your tag, you say level, and then the value could be gold. Right?
Got it.
And so later on, and then you click on add because you want to add the tag.
Yeah.
Right? You could add multiple tags to it. You could also say another one would be ownership, maybe. So key could be owner, and then the value could be Adriana. Yeah, perfect. Right.
Cool.
And so later on we can use this for filtering and things like that. Yeah.
And then now you know who to go after on the
Exactly.
SLO. Sounds
Cool.
good. Okay, so do we save this then?
I guess so. There's nothing else to do here.
And so does that mean with these tags you can filter by tag? Filter these.
Exactly. So that's the idea. If you have more, you can then use it for filter. We'll see this later on.
Okay.
I mean, you can now. We only have one SLO created. So if you click on that again, if you click on that name, exactly, you get back in, right, and then you see all the details. You can also go back to edit if you want to, but I think that's just what it is. Cool.
Okay. So what do we do with this SLO? Because we've created it.
Yeah, exactly, right. What do we do with it?
We want someone to be notified when the SLO is being breached or close to being breached.
Yeah, I think what we want to do is we want to add it to a dashboard, because typically I see a lot of people have dashboards where they have the business metrics or SLOs on it, and the 3 dots at the end of the table, it might be a good indication.
Dashboard.
Yeah.
Magic. Ooh, let's create a new dashboard and we'll name it, call it SLO dashboard.
Exactly.
And so we've added this SLO to the dashboard. If I want to edit SLO, it would go back then to my original SLO.
Exactly. That's the that's the SLO editor now. So it's basically in place. So that means you can also change the SLO here if you want to.
That's really nice, actually.
Yeah.
I like that.
And so I think the idea is that you can, when application owners, right, create dashboards where they have, I don't know, their throughput, maybe some business metrics even, like I think your recommendation service is generating certain recommendations, and maybe if recommendations are picked, then you have a business impact, like people actually buy something. But if I'm the owner of that app, of that service, I also want to have my SLOs here visually, and this is what we provide here. Exactly. I want to do a second SLO, if you're okay with that. So we have the dashboard now. It's called SLO dashboard. That's great. Let's go back to the SLO.
Okay. Yeah. Now we can
create another one.
Okay.
Services again. And let's pick the other one, the performance.
Ooh. Okay.
Awesome. So I think it's very similar to before. You want to select for which services?
Let's do our same ones, front end, and then recommendation. There we go.
Exactly.
Refresh.
So here, the difference with the performance SLO is there's one additional input field that you see on the left side above the selection of the services.
This guy.
Right. So the SLO basically is how many of the requests are faster than 500 milliseconds. So the performance SLO measures what is the ratio of requests that are faster than your your desired response time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
so in this case, it seems, I know you only have very limited data currently because you only have like an hour or two, but you can already see in the chart
Mm-hmm.
that it seems once you started the app, most of your requests, or at least it feels like about 50% are not meeting the criteria.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It seemed that way.
Right?
Look at that.
Look at that, yeah, only 50%. So probably half of the requests are faster, half of the requests are slower.
Yeah, this is quite interesting. Huh.
I mean, you can figure out, maybe you can just play around a little bit with, maybe change it to a little higher number. Let's do 800 milliseconds.
Sure, let's see.
Refresh. See if this changes anything. It seems you have a couple of very long running requests. Now,
Mhm.
I want to show you one more thing. So this is a nice wizard that just makes it easy for you to pick a service, to
Yeah.
define a threshold. Have you noticed the customize with DQL button?
Ooh. Yeah, I had not. I had not.
So basically, behind the scenes, there is a query, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now in this case, it's a little bit more complex because it calculates it looks at the response time metric from those particular services that you selected. And then it also calculates the number of requests that are faster or slower than your 800 milliseconds. And then it calculates a ratio.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's basically what this query does. It really calculates everything through DQL.
Yeah.
Now, this is much easier, or let's say the wizard is obviously much easier to get started with.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
but what I wanted to highlight here is if you are familiar with DQL, or if you have built dashboards in the past and you say, hey, this is actually an interesting metric, I would like to convert this into an SLO, you
Mm-hmm.
can by just copy and pasting this over. Right?
Mm. That's very cool.
Cool. The rest, I think, is pretty much the same. I think
Okay.
next, try
Let's
the targeting
warning again. And our warning at 95.
and try the time frame. Try the time frame a little less. Like try the
No.
day.
Sorry, you're saying a day?
Yeah, and then we'll see.
Okay.
There we
Ooh.
go.
Huh. Look at our warning.
Yeah. Because if you think about the day,
Yeah, yeah.
then it assumes. So in the when you didn't have data yet, it just assumed by default this is the way the query is written, that you're good, that all of your queries are. Yeah, you can do 2 hours as well. Yeah,
I'm
there
just
you go.
curious.
Yeah. Then, oh my
Oh,
God.
look at that.
Yeah, but that actually looks good, right? Because this is really, this is exactly what you want. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Dang. Our SLO breached.
Yeah. And now click on next.
Okay.
Give it
Let's do,
another, I think, good name and tag.
let's do owner because I remember that. Oops. Ugh. Crappy poop. It was
We
service
can always,
performance, right?
service performance, exactly. Yeah.
Let's go back. Well, there you go. If you also have a trigger finger like me, um, then you too can go and edit edit the SLO. I hit enter and that closed the window. And then what was our other
It was
variables?
level, and we said gold, I believe, before. Yeah.
It's 2 gold.
And then you know what? We can give it a better name than the default one.
Oh yeah, that's true. That was the other thing. So oops. Service performance there.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And
Nice.
I would say,
Should we edit this one actually here to do the last 2 hours as well?
can you? Oh, you mean edit? Yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
point. Yeah,
edit.
you're right. Yeah.
Just how we have a consistency criteria.
Mm-hmm.
look at that. Let's do apply. Oh, we're still doing okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. Okay, so now we can add this one to our existing dashboard, SLO dashboard.
Cool. There we go. And then some of the things we've learned on the previous episodes is, while you already gave it a good name, the dashboard is called SLO dashboard. What I would additionally do is, I'm a big fan on the very top to add a markdown with just a little bit of a description.
Yes. No, that's not it. Damn it. You've shown me this before. Nope. Oh, yeah. Is this it? Yes.
Yeah.
There we go. Markdown. So this is an SLO dashboard for the hotel app. Oh, this little title. Oops.
Exactly. Perfect.
And we'll move stuff around.
Yeah.
So that it's beautiful. There. Ta-da.
And then I would like to ask you for another thing. So the availability is basically shows us a metric on how many requests are successful. That's nice. But what I would like, and also to show the power that we can combine different types of data.
Yeah.
Last time in the dashboarding episode, we talked about metrics. So maybe we can also just add another chart on here, another metric that shows either performance, or let's actually pick performance, because I'm really curious now how fast or slow these requests are.
Okay.
Let's see if we can get the performance metric, of the recommendation service, for instance. I think it's response time, probably. Exactly, it's the survey. I think that's the one. Yeah.
If we ran it.
Yeah. Cool. This is now the 90th percentile. That's interesting. Maybe you choose a different. Let's do the average response time, just to see. Yeah. Perfect. And then we filter. We don't want to have it across all the services, but we want to have it across maybe the recommendation service.
Yep. So we would do service. Actually, we want service name. This be the right one?
Yeah, okay. I think so. Equals.
Oh yes, here we go.
Okay.
Oopsie. Come on. There we go.
Perfect.
Awesome. We run it.
Awesome. And then I want to do another thing, because you had the recommendation service, and what was the other service?
It was the front end service.
Yeah. So you do an in, right? You do an or, yeah. Oh. No, you can do an in, or you can do.
And then oopsie. Come back.
Exactly, front end, yeah. Perfect.
I learned some stuff along the way.
And now we don't want to have it meshed together. I want to have it split.
Oh, yes. So we want to split by service. Is this the correct
one? Yeah, exactly.
Nope. What the hell? Did that? No. Boo. Sorry. I wanted to rerun it. Oh, yeah, there we go.
Exactly.
Just gonna move this poor little dashboard tile.
Yeah, I think you need to expand the the markdown on the top.
Oh yeah. Yes. Smart. There. don't get in my space.
Perfect.
We'll do this.
Awesome.
Ta-da.
Ta-da.
Okay. And then we can, we don't see anything for,
yeah, the recommendation service is the front end is so much bigger, and that's why
yeah,
the front end has like several seconds of response time versus the other one.
Yeah, it's interesting. If we wanted to get fancy,
yeah,
because now like my brain's going like, well, I guess we could parameterize this.
We could, yeah.
So that we could select our services.
Exactly.
Yes. So if we were to do that.
What if we learned last time?
Well, I mean, so first of all, we added a variable. And then we can do, we can do a fetch. Can we do fetch services?
Maybe.
Get all this out. Oh, what's this?
No, services doesn't exist, but you almost like if you go back and that see the recommendations of what's coming. If you just do service,
service.
I think there's a TT entities. Nah, it's you want to fetch these services. There's like I think it's DT entity service. If you scroll down, right, there's a lot of things with services.
Entity it would help if I could spell T. Service. Yeah. Would this be it?
Give it a try. Run.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Ooh. Hello.
Exactly. But now the thing is you have the name and the ID. So I guess we want to just if on the right side, if you click on run again.
Yeah.
Right, you see that by default what comes back is the name and the ID. So what we can do is we can just say just the fields, just entity name.
Ooh, look at this. This is like a 2-for-1.
Yeah.
And let's name our variables
better.
That's kind of driving me crazy. Services, service name. Wonderful. Okay, so that takes care of that. Then we go into here. This is actually, this ought to be, I'm just going to go edit this variable. Can we make this a multi-select variable?
Can. Yeah.
How do we do that? Oh, multi-select. Hey. Learning as I go. Yeah. And so then if we replace this with in our variable, which we called service. Why don't you not like me? Oh, does it?
Remove the in and then just try it. So do the
equal.
Do the in again. Now click on the in. Now you see it where it's in the here we go. And now I believe maybe it's a refresh thing. Here we go. $. Here we go. It's there now. Last.
Oh, here we go. Okay. Amazing. Run. Look at that.
Cool.
But then we have to go into these as well and edit.
So, yeah, those are right. These are the SLOs. There's behind every SLO, there is a specific dequal query, and those dequal queries cannot be used for filtering from the outside.
Oh, boo! Bummer.
Yeah. But that's the idea is that you're specifying certain SLOs. And this is where also the tags and everything comes in, where it's a gold, silver, bronze for certain services. And you manage the SLOs on the SLO definition. So an SRE can then really specify, or whoever is responsible for SLOs can specify what is the SLO really, and you cannot just mess around with it. I think that's the idea.
Oh, I see. That's the intent. Don't. We don't want just like any Joe Blow Schmo coming in and messing with the SLOs. Got it. Final question for you, because it's awesome that we have these on the dashboard, but I think as as an SRE, I probably wouldn't want to be staring at a dashboard all day. So how would we go about, like, how would I as an SRE be notified if an SLO is breached?
I would say this is a perfect segue into the next episode that we'll do,
Perfect.
because we can then talk about anomaly detection, talk about getting alerted. We have different ways in the workflows to then also either, send you a Slack message, send you an email, create a ticket. We can definitely cover this the next time.
Okay. Sounds good. Perfect. Well, this was awesome. Thank you so much for guiding me through
Yeah.
this. I always learn something cool.
Yeah, and you also showed me that stuff that you learned in the past, you have
Yes,
applied it today. So that's great.
there we go.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, looking forward to the next episode where we continue to stitch these things together. So,
Yeah.
yeah, stay tuned.